Yes, people, welcome back to the studio. Today we've got a video on ways to make your tracks from scratch. I'm going to show you 3 ways that I would start a track idea using various different elements to get the creative juices flowing. So I'm going to start with the first method, which is adding a kick and a bass. The second method, which is starting with a melody. And the final method, which is using a sample, like a vocal and a melody or a bass. So we're going to go from scratch and see how we get on. So let's get stuck in. Cool. So today we are going to start with a clean slate. I'm going to just add I'm going to add this MIDI. And the first thing I want to do is find a chunky kick. Set my BPM to the speed I want to make the track at. Let's go. We'll go 131 today. Quite a groovy, speedy house track. So the first thing I am going to do is look for a kick. So a kick and a bass in a track, once you've got your kick and bass going, they're like the foundation. I like this 909 ES, I use it quite a lot. So I'm going to start off with this chunky kick. Just drawing out the MIDI. Going to rename it kick main. So yeah, it's a pretty thumpy kick. Not really going to do too much processing on it. I'm just going to add the utility, as you'll know, volume, big up. Going to set it to mono because it's kick, and I'm going to just EQ as an EQ just to get some control more on the sound, the frequencies. Cool. Solid kick. We love a solid kick. Next, I'm going to look at starting a bass. So we've got the kick, just gives you the foundation of the groove of the track. And I'm going to go with the bass. Now, bass lines, this time I've got a really cool plugin that I'm going to use called Meat Beats. You might have seen it on Syntho or one of Josh Baker's videos. That's where I found it. Really cool. Cheap plugin. It's about 15-20 quid. But the bass sounds are so good. So this is the nude bass, nude bass sound in it. Quite a jacking house sort of sound. So what I'm going to do here is I've got this bass. I'm just going to call it bass 1. And one tip that's really easy if you can't think of any melodies, any sort of bass patterns to get going, is you take the bass and you get this thing called Sting. Now Sting's free. I think it's free off the Ableton website. It's a little thing called Sting by Skinnerbox. It's a really cool tool you can use. So now I've loaded the bass sound in. I'm going to click on Sting, add it to the channel, and you'll hear when I press play. It's generating, what's it called? A very nice acid pattern generator. I kind of like that. First one in and we're winning. So yeah, this will generate certain patterns depending on what sound you've added. So if you click on the smiley, it will change. So straight away, you can mess around with the density. So this is instantly a good way to generate ideas. You've got your kick and your bass going, and you've basically got the foundations of a groove going here. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go with this one. So now, in order to get the MIDI for this bass that we can hear, I'm gonna wanna create a new MIDI track, and I want to record the audio from this channel into this MIDI channel. So in order to do this, I'm going to click on this button here, and I'm going to channel this sound from the bass channel into this new MIDI channel. Pressing this red button is the arm recording. So this records signal from the bass channel, which is the one above, into the MIDI. And to record it, you want to just go to the press and press this button, arrangement record button. So let's press it, see what happens. Awesome. So there we go. We have a bass MIDI. So I'm going to drag it back into the bass. I'm going to get rid of Sting 64. And there we go. We have the beginning of a groove. I'm going to just recolor this. I always have my basses in like blacky gray color. Awesome. So we can add a bit of processing on this. For the sakes of this video, I'm just going to show you. So I can show you now that we've got the beginning of a track. I could even go into the MIDI, add a few more extra notes. So there we go. We've got a groovy vibe going. So there we go. One way to get tracks going. Super easy, super simple. Grab yourself Sting off online, which is free plugin, and it generates bass patterns, and add yourself a kick, and there you go. We are winning. Way number 2, I'm going to start with a melody. So I'm going to just delete this and start fresh. Get rid of the bass. Get rid of the kick. Second way is starting off with a melody. Now, when I make my 90s rave sounding tracks, I tend to start this way because the melody is the main driver behind the track. It carries the track. The rave stabs kind of set the tone. So what I would do is, for this video, I'm going to use Rave Generator, a very renowned plugin for having that old school sounding 90s kind of stabs, leads and synths to your tracks, which is, as you probably know, something that I really enjoy making. So there's loads of different choices. I'm going to just have a classic stab. I'll show you what I'm doing on here. So this is the plugin, and I've searched classic stab. There's loads and loads of different sounds, but let's just see what this sounds like. Maybe a bit more. Okay, this is cool. Clinical shutdown. So I'm on 131 still. I want to just add a bit of reverb just to make the sound a bit more wet. And I'm just going to draw a few notes, see what it sounds like. What I've done is I've also turned on the metronome at the top just to help keep the pace of the track, keep the rhythm. I've also got a swing on this track. This is just something that I always add to my, it's always like the beginning, every template I open, I've got a swing on, just because it helps, for me anyway, it helps me create some more ideas, a bit of swing straight away on the track. Just, yeah, when I'm drawing notes out, it generates ideas in my head a bit easier. So yeah, something you can do if you want to copy that, you can just press grooves on the side. And I use this one, 1666. You can just pick and choose. If you click on the groove, you can hear how it sounds. just give it a go. I experimented and found this one worked for me, the 1666. So yeah, let's get back to the groove. I mean, even though this first, just get rid of that, first bar. Just a few notes, literally just 2 notes. We've got A sharp, D sharp. I could even add a few extra notes. And there we go, we've got a little lead to start. So using this rave generator lead that I've made, I can, I've got this very simple pattern that I started off literally within just this first bar. And then I just copied and pasted it, added a few extra notes, and we're winning. The ideas there. I could add, I could even just, for the sakes of this video, just to speed things up, I could add even like a little drum loop. Let's pick this one, quite a groovy drum loop. And then I'll add a kick as well. Let's add that 909 that we had earlier. There we go. Yeah, voice broke. Draw out the MIDI. Just turn down the rave stabs a little bit. So there we go. Another really quick and simple way to get the track moving, get the ideas flowing, because that's what it's all about, getting in the studio, putting the ideas down, following an idea that you've got, not stressing about whether it sounds like you want it to, or if it just feels good and it comes to you easy. That is a very good sign just to keep on cooking. So I'm gonna look at the final way. So we've covered kick and bass line, starting with a melody. Third one, we're gonna start with a sample / a vocal. So I'm gonna just get rid of this again, start fresh. Create a MIDI. Cool, start fresh. So vocals, samples. This is another video in itself, finding vocals and samples that work. It is a bit of a talent and skill. You've got to practice it. You've got to kind of do a bit of digging. It's like when you're digging for tracks, you've got to figure out what sort of sound you want, what samples could work. Sometimes the most wacky samples like old TV advertisements, or like old YouTube clips of someone talking, or a speech or a poem. Anything like that can end up being some really cool, unique vocals or samples. For the sakes of this video, I'm just going to have a look at what I've got already and just show you how I'd build a track around it. Ideally, I can find one that I've found off Splice.
Are you with me, or do I need to take you down?
Here's quite funny. Okay, cool. This one's nice. Lots of energy. This is a splice vocal. Very high energy house sort of vibes. So I've got this vocal. I'm just going to call it vocal 1. First thing I'm going to do is I really think like splice is quite an interesting topic because a lot of people have it now. There's some really good samples and the quality of the samples are good, but some people are quick to jump at like the fact that, you know, a lot of tracks now are being produced with the same samples in. Um, so it's like a, you know, two-way thing. It gives you access to samples and like, you know, as a producer, that's awesome. You want good samples, but you also want to stay original and keep it your own unique sounding. So the first thing I'm going to do with this vocal is to make that unique sound. That can come with pitching it up, pitching it down, speeding it up. What I probably am going to do with this one is I'm going to just cut it a little bit. Okay, so the first little bit's cool. I like that. Okay, so I've just kind of cut the vocal up a little bit. I might even add a bit of delay, um, just to carry it a little bit. So even that that kind of beginning, I can use, and I could go back to how I made the previous track beginning. And so I've got this vocal and I can look to add quite a catchy synth or lead between the first sample hit and the second sample hit. So I don't know how any of these sound, so I'm going to just pick one by random. Let's turn it down a bit with the utility. Maybe 90s. Okay, maybe get a pattern of this. Just experimenting with the sounds, trying to get it to match the... One other way you can do it as well is if I'm struggling to generate any ideas, I have certain sounds that really help trigger things. So for me, the M1 organ is really good at triggering melody ideas. I don't know why. It may be because when I was growing up, a lot of the tunes I used to listen to, old house tracks, had this sound in, and it really just, whenever I've got it, so I'll add some reverb. Whenever I've got it in my tracks, it just really, I can think of melodies really quick. So you can hear the tracks defo come in. It's only 2 channels. Just gonna add a bit of saturator to beef out the kick. Sorry, the organ. Just add a bit of delay onto the organ to help carry the melody. And you can hear the idea come in, 2 channels, vocal and an organ, and the kind of the energy is slowly building. Add yourself a kick as well, just to lay that first foundation. Quite a beefy kick, this one. It's gonna... What I've also done to help kind of build out this beginning part is I've got the melody here. One thing you can do is just change this velocity of these notes using this randomer down here. Just makes it sound a bit more human, like you're playing it on the keyboard sort of vibes. So there you go. You got 2 channels where you got started with the vocal, went to add the organ, added a kick on top to drive the track, and the idea is cooking. So like I was gonna say, this little thing at the top, the arrangement loop, if you add here, you can move it at the top using this little arrow. If you loop the first 8 bars where you want to build this groove, put the arrangement on, it just means it will keep on looping. And it just means that you can keep on adding stuff, taking stuff away, and it won't stop the track from playing. So it's just a lot easier to put ideas down. So there you go. That is 3 ways to get tracks started. You've got your kick and your bass line, starting with the kick, adding a bass line. You can use stuff like Sting to get the bass ideas going. Number 2, melody. So I started with Rave Generator, just to get some sort of like catchy sound you like, or instrument leading the track and building the track around that. And the final example, starting with a sample vocal, finding a vocal that is cool to the energy you want the track, and adding simple elements like a synth organ around it, using 2 or 3 notes. My organ in this track is 3 notes. So, yeah, and just loop in, see what happens, and then add the kick, and you can hear the foundation of your new track. So hope you enjoyed this one. I've got loads more ideas, loads more videos coming. So yeah, keep an eye on Patreon. I'll be uploading stuff literally every week. So yeah, exciting times. Enjoy.